Welcome to Stormwater Drainage Solutions. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how downspout drains can help prevent foundation issues and erosion around your home or property. So we have a pretty simple install here for you today. It is simply 2 gutter downspouts that we're going to be running on one main line out the backyard and discharging into a natural area. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember to give 811 a call before you do any excavation. That way they can come out and mark any utility lines that may be in the area. Now with this particular install, we're going to be using vented Ys to connect to our gutter downspouts. Now, if you're a DIYer and you're going to be taking on this project yourself and you choose to use this method, a quick tip is the best way to do this is to build these vented Ys outside of your trench. Just go ahead and use a tape measure and get the measurements you need to make your cuts, and go ahead and glue all of this on the outside of the trench. That way it's a lot easier than trying to work in the trench. Now another thing, you might have to trim the gutter down to size when doing it this way, because if you start digging too deep on the beginning of your run, by the time you get to the end of your run where the water is supposed to discharge, you're going to be way too deep in the ground and it's not going to drain out properly and flow as well as it could have. So in order to combat this, the best way to do it is after you take your measurements, go ahead and just trim off some of that gutter downspout in order to get your vented Y connected into that. Now, if you're choosing to use PVC as your material for your drainage line, remember that it is very rigid and does not flex. So make sure you dig your trenches as straight as you possibly can. Another thing, your bell ends. Make sure you have your bell ends facing the correct direction. You want the bell ends facing the opposite way that water will be flowing. And another quick tip, whenever you're installing your fittings for your PVC, use a small torpedo level. That way you can go ahead and get the correct pitch on them. Once you have the correct pitch, you can use a Sharpie and mark on both the pipe and the fitting exactly where that fitting is going to line up with the pipe before you glue it. That way you do not have any mistakes upon gluing. Whenever connecting a lateral into your main line, make sure you use a Y fitting. Do not use a T fitting. T fittings cause water to slam to a stop and have to start all up over again. Same with a sanitary tee. I would avoid using a sanitary tee as well. Only use Y fittings whenever connecting laterals into main lines. That way you get the best flow of water the quickest and it moves debris out efficiently. Whenever you're running your drainage pipe in a straight line like this, go ahead and take advantage of the situation and glue the pipe on the outside of the trench. This will save your back and make the job a lot easier. Then go ahead and level it out afterwards. Now, in certain sections of the trench, you might not be able to do this. If you have sprinkler lines in the ground like we have here, you're going to have to go either above or below them. In this situation, we were able to go below them. Some situations you'll have to go straight through them. And if that is the case, then you're going to have to dig the area out more, cut those sprinkler lines, and reroute them so you can get the proper pitch to your pipe. As you make your way down the main line, constantly check your level. Every 10-foot section, I would recommend checking your level. That way you can be sure that you're on point and you won't have to backtrack and start changing things, because then you're just doing double work. Now at the end here, we're going to go ahead and just use a percolation tee with a pop-up emitter, and we're using the French Drain Man pop-up emitter with turf restrictor plate. This ensures that the grass will not grow over the discharge end anytime soon, and that way it gives the homeowner ample amount of time to weed eat or clear that grass away from the discharge end. Now these vented Ys will do 2 things. The first thing that they're going to do is allow easy access for the homeowner so that in the future, if they ever need to run a garden hose down either side of this drainage system to flush it out, they can easily do that. The other thing they're going to allow is airflow through this system so that on a heavy rain event, that water can flow more efficiently. This is a good sized roof here and we're picking up a lot of water to discharge. So we want to make sure that the airflow is on point. Now, your gutter downspout drains are probably the second most important drainage system on your home. The first obviously being your sanitary sewer system. But gutter downspout drains divert all that runoff water that your roof picks up, and it gets it away from your foundation and away from the block and stucco wall. Unchecked water like this can wreak havoc on a home's foundation and the structure and integrity of the home. So it is important, in my opinion, to get that water away from your home. All right, so that just about does it for this job. We got the garden hose flowing into the system, so you can see the water coming out of our FDM pop-up emitter. Now, guys, if you're in a northern climate where you experience freezes and thaws, I would suggest you stay away from PVC pipe when it comes to yard drainage, because PVC pipe is so rigid, it has a tendency to crack when the ground freezes. Now, if you could get it below the frost line, this wouldn't be such an issue, but usually in yard drainage applications, you're never going to get that deep. Probably in about 90% of cases, you're not going to go that deep. So you're better off using a high quality HDPE pipe. Now, French Drainman makes a very good single wall corrugated pipe made from HDPE virgin material. I would recommend using this pipe if you're in a northern climate, but definitely probably stay away from PVC. Now, we can get away with it because we're in the Sun Belt region. We don't have to worry about freezes and thaws, so it works down here for us. But if you're in a northern climate, I would highly recommend going with HDPE drainage pipe. All right, well, we hope you enjoyed this video and that you gained some knowledge from watching it. And if you did, give us a thumbs up. It really supports us. It supports the channel. And until next time, this is SWDS signing off.